Hey guys, it's Eddie, your Muay Thai tutor, and today we're going to be going over something a little bit different. It's going to be footwork, but I call it active stance switching. Now there's no real, name for it. I'm not the inventor of this, but it's something that I've noticed, and I want to touch bases off this. Now this is going to be hard for everybody. It's going to be hard for people that have never done this before just due to a lack of experience, but it's going to be harder for people that have done Muay Thai before and have experience in martial arts, because you have to undo habits or teach yourself a new habit. Now, how I stumbled across this was studying Vasily Lomachenko. If you don't know who Vasily Lomachenko is, he's a current boxer right now. I think he's one of the most prolific and exciting fighters right now. I think he's pound for pound the best fighter in the history of boxing. If you give him time, I think he will become that. Now, while studying Vasily Lomachenko, he's a southpaw, and he is known for utilizing crazy angles. And me being an orthodox fighter, it's very hard to create these angles against another orthodox. So I thought about the process of getting into that southpaw position. I thought about becoming a southpaw myself and just learning from the ground up, because there's a lot of tricks that he does. And I stumbled across this this footwork studying another fighter called Baxter. I'll touch bases on Vasily probably on my next video, but I want to touch bases on Baxter. Baxter, if you don't know who he is the one-arm bandit. They call him the one-arm bandit because he has literally one arm, and he was a world champion. He was featured on the top 10 knockouts highlight reels for, I think, ESPN, and he's retired now. But you think about a fighter that has one hand, everybody's strategy is the same. I'm going to hit him on that weak side, and he tears people apart with this footwork itself. If you study videos, he does this all the time. So it's getting you to attack him for one side, and he's going to switch stances to cover distance up, and then he's going to make you, he's going to punish you. So that's what we're going to be covering today, active stance switching. And with all that said, let's get started. All right guys, so I want to play with an idea of the reason why you would do the active stance switch. So when you get attacked, you typically have a couple of options, or a couple of things that people do when they see a haymaker being thrown at them. So the first one is going to be that they're just going to absorb it and take it and just block. So they throw a haymaker and they get punched and they just absorb it, and then they try to throw a counter of some sort. The other one is going to be slipping, bobbing, weaving, and then leaning. Most people tend to do blocking and leaning. So I want to show some perspective as far as distance covered if I were to do an unnatural lean, meaning a lean where I'm trying to cover as much distance, but athletically one would most likely not go to this extreme. So if I were to lean back from this position, a punch is being thrown at me, and I'm trying to do, some kind of matrix thing, I'm already falling, my head probably goes about where this pad is as far as distance, which is, from point A to point B. About here. The problem with that is if I lean back, I may elude or evade, the first 1 to 2 punches. But at some point, if I'm in this position, I have to come back into harm's way just to be ready to fire. Why? Because I can't necessarily throw a very effective punch or kick from this position. So I at some point have to shoot my hips back to then again get my head forward. So it's not very reliable. Any single time I come across someone that would lean back, I would just run at them because it forces them to do this, and we play that game, and at some point I'm going to catch their face. So active stance switching, I'm going to cover that same distance with my legs and my entire frame. So I'm going to switch my stances, and with that active stance switch, I cover the same distance, if not even more, and I'm already in a position to fire back. The problem with this is I'm now in my least dominant stance. So now I have to practice how to throw very simple punches, which is going to be just across from my now least dominant side. So just to give you guys a visual, I have my partner Sasha, and she's going to demonstrate the danger or the haymaker that would be thrown at me, and there's going to be the timing and the footwork. So I'm going to go ahead and throw a 1-2. I'm going to throw the 1-2, and as I'm done throwing the 1-2, she's going to go ahead and counter with a right of her own. Now, as she throws that right, again, that just caught me. Go back, 1-2. As she throws that right, I'm going to step back at the same time reading her body language. The footwork for this is going to be very much the same as a switch kick, where I'm stepping back, but instead of stepping back beneath my own leg and then coming forward, I'm going to step straight back directly, almost like as if I'm wearing two skis. I'm stepping straight back here, and then I'm going to rock forward to throw a counter of my own. When you're stepping back and you're doing this footwork, be conscious of not looking like a door hinge, meaning when I step back, try not to throw your shoulders back this way, because then you're not going to be prepared to throw that cross. So I want to step straight back and then rock forward. With the threats, 1, 2, ba, I'm going to have her barely miss. Even if she hits me, because I'm moving back with my frame, I'm only going to catch the tail end of that power again, because she's anticipating for me to be in this position. So her follow through would be right about here, would be the peak of her power. One more time. Bah. So I have plenty of space, even if she overextended herself a lot, where she's, falling forward, I'm not going to catch the brunt end of that damage. So as soon as she's done punching, bah, I'm going to step forward and out and come right over the top. Bah. So we're going to do a little bit faster. 1, 2, bam, bam, bam. Go ahead and throw it right at me. Throw it right at me. 1, 2, bam, bam, bam. One more time. 1, 2, bam, bam, bam. Now I may slip. Again, this left foot is very important because I am catching this to catch tread. It's very much like a sprinter stance. As soon as this back leg hits, I want to be ready and almost falling forward to capitalize on their mistake. The frame and timing for their error is very small. As soon as they miss, they're going to try to recover as quickly as possible. If I throw a haymaker, I'm going to come back. Now within this extension, that is my window of opportunity to make them pay and counter. One more time. 1, 2, bam, bam, bam. I am only going to throw this 4 haymakers where there is loud and explosive movement with their body. Therefore, I can read it and I have time to react and get out of the way. All right, so now we're going to switch roles. Sasha is going to be the person that's demoing this footwork. So question, Eddie, what if, I do this technique successfully and now I'm in my least dominant stance and I don't feel comfortable? How do I just get back into my stance? Well, there's going to be 2 reactions to someone getting popped. The first reaction is they're going to keep attacking you, but you're in your least dominant stance. Guess what? You do this footwork again and you go back into your regular stance. This is what it's going to look like. So, they throw the 1, 2, bam, bam. I throw that giant haymaker and they pop, bam. One more time. 1, 2, bam, bam. I throw that giant haymaker, pop. I get angry and I attack again. Bam, bam. She's already back in her orthodox stance. One more time. 1, 2, bam, bam, boom, boom, another one, boom, boom, another one, boom, boom. It keeps happening. The answer is still the same. So the other reaction is, hey, I just caught 1, 2, 3 times. I don't like this. I'm going to pause and analyze what's going on because I keep falling into this trap. And if you happen to be in your least dominant stance, this is going to be the reaction. So 1, 2, I throw a haymaker, she pops me, bam. I don't like what happened. She can naturally walk back into her stance because I am no longer a threat. I stop pursuing her. One more time, bam, 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 bam. I back off, she gets back into her stance. So I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to attack her, and then back off. 1, 2, 1, bam, 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 bam. Bam, I got caught 3 times and she just naturally goes back to her stance. If she's already in a position where she was in southpaw and I attack her and she attacks me and I already back off, she's already in her stance again. So the answer is the same. If the person keeps aggressing at you, you just continue to do the footwork, recover space, and then take the space back. If the person backs off, you continue to press and maintain that same pressure. If the person continues to come forward, then you continue to back up while still maintaining your weight forward, being ready for that window of opportunity to capitalize with the counter. All right, guys, so that concludes our video. This is active stance switching. Again, this is footwork meant with a purpose for not getting punched in the face and then returning the favor. So I challenge you guys to work on this. Again, again, if you have experience, this is going to be hard. And if you don't have experience, this should still be hard because you don't have experience, but it should be a little bit easier because everything is new to you. If you guys have any questions, please comment down below and subscribe, all that stuff. And you guys have a great, wonderful day and stay tuned. I think tomorrow, if not, yeah, I think tomorrow I'll put out another video for you guys. All right, guys, Swaddy Cap.